Joining us now is Scott Baradell, who's an expert on branding and trust, to talk about the media right now and the insanity going on in our political world. Scott, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, the days of Walter Cronkite seem to be gone. Could you imagine Walter Cronkite today at Fox News or CBS News having to weigh in and throw his opinion around like it's something that everybody ought to be following? Let's talk about where we are today with the listeners' and viewers' trust of the media, and then how to make it better since you're a branding expert. So your thoughts on where we are and the slant the different entities like CNBC, CNN give versus what Fox gives being, the complete truth.
Yeah, well, it's only gotten worse and worse. I mean, there's been a decline in trust of the traditional news media for years and years, and that's continued. And yes, people trust their chosen kind of slanted outlets or the ones that share their biases and perspective. They trust them more, but they still don't trust them as much as we all used to trust Uncle Walty back in the day.
Mm. So what do you do? All right, you've opened up a new university, and everybody that gets into journalism or television or radio broadcasting in the news world has to take your course. What is your course teaching people?
Oh, I hate to say this, but something like public funding of the news. I don't know how you do it in the system we have today, because it's all about clicks. And if everyone out there is chasing clicks, and that's how you get paid, and that's how you keep your job, you're gonna give people what they want, and that's not necessarily what they need to hear. It's not necessarily the school board meetings and the city council meetings and the kind of things that we used to cover in local news every day, even though it was maybe like taking your medicine. It was stuff that as a public citizenry, people needed to hear. Now it's Theo Vaughn and call her daddy, and that has all gone away, this idea of having to of sharing information that was simply important for the public to know.
It seems that no matter what television you turn on to check the news out, if you're not on fire with your broadcast, then you're not going to get ratings and you're not going to get clicks. It's super sensationalized and opinionated to the point of it's like, I have friends that say, look, I love you and I love your show, but sometimes, I gotta put some music on. The news is just coming at you like a fire hydrant these days.
Oh, yeah. And people increasingly don't even want the kind of cable news kind of yelling at each other kind of a thing that has been so popular for so long. They just want to go find something where they're comfortable. And that sometimes isn't news at all. Maybe it's Joe Rogan, maybe it's Alex Cooper, maybe it's Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn interviewed Donald Trump the other day.
Great interview.
A lot of people were shocked. Yeah, it was a great interview. A lot of people were shocked by that. Why is he on this TikTok comedian show? Well, it's because he's got a huge audience.
Yeah. Well, when you do turn the news on and there's complete lies going on by so-called quote-unquote expert journalists, you turn on Rachel Maddow, for instance. That lady is so insane to the left that it's like, spewing venom towards Donald Trump and bringing up anything possible, to the point of it's gotten to where they don't even care about lying anymore about Donald Trump. They just throw it out there like it's real and gaslight everybody and expect you to, buy into it. And you're right. Those are attracted to that kind of policy or that type of opinion are on fire for these people. But do you think it's poisoning the American people?
Absolutely. I mean, it's Thomas Jefferson famously said, informed citizenry is the requisite to have a functioning democracy, and the fact that so many people are coming at things not only with different opinions but different basic versions of the facts makes it very difficult for people to have a conversation, and it just keeps getting worse. I mean, at least you had you've had newspaper revenues decline from $50 billion to $10 billion, from 50 to 10 in less than 20 years.
Yeah.
And this is because first it was because Google and Facebook and these were, that's where the media was, the public was going to get their news, and the advertising dollars were going to them, and they'd share some of the advertising dollars with the media. But now you've got AI, you've got TikTok, and increasingly media, as traditional media, the folks that are putting the news together, they're getting cut out altogether.
Let me ask you this. You're a branding expert, okay? Fox News has been beating all the other news channels when it comes to viewership, okay? So if you were hired by, let's say, MSNBC and Rachel Maddow's crew over there because their ratings suck, and you come to the corporation over there and they say, look, Fox is kicking our butt time and time again. How do we rebrand ourselves to gain some of that audience back? What do you tell them?
Well, I think, you may recall in the early days, MSNBC used to try to be, they were tied to Microsoft and they were trying to be the more techie. So they changed their position to be the counterpoint, liberal counterpoint to Fox News simply because Fox News was so successful. Now, they haven't ever been able to match the ratings. Part of that is who likes to get their news from outlets like that anyway, beyond kind of who their personalities are and what things they say on the air. You could argue that it's a good position to be the liberal version. Look at what CNN has done as they've kind of flopped all over the place and going from trying to be objective to trying to be more emotional. They've tried so many different ways to find their niche, and none of it's worked. MSNBC, at least they have their core audience. It's smaller than Fox News is, but it is there.
Yeah, but I'm the CEO of MSNBC, and I can't stand the ratings because my revenues are down. And Scott, I need some answers on rebranding my company. What do I do?
Well, Rachel Maddow is, for good or ill, is their biggest celebrity. I don't know if you look at that and say we need more like that, or we say, let's clean house, and maybe you could argue, hey, let's go more to the center, but then do we encroach on the territory that CNN's trying to own? It's not easy. I might go into a different business if I were made CEO of MSNBC.
You're a branding expert. You can't even give them the right answers because
I wish I could.
Yeah, so disastrous. You're right. I think bailing on what they're doing is probably the best advice. Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate you.